Everyone's here?
She called me out on camera. Called me out. It was great. Honestly, it was even better in person because you know it's recording.
Good fucking joke anyway. They're all jokes, every one of them.
No, Joe, you don't use that language in public.
I do.
Okay.
Assuming.
All right, let's call this meeting to the Capital Strategic Planning Committee to order. Time is now 6:30. I'll rise for the
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Mike Brown.
Tiffany Haskell. Elizabeth York.
John Donaldson.
Maggie Bory. Ricky Stern. Naomi Smith.
Joseph Wow. Rick Montel.
Ariana Langford. My mic's not working. Mine's not even.
Here you go, buddy.
We can hear you.
No, I'm pretty loud. Mine's not now. Just gotta turn it to the right. I turn it both ways. Very both ways, so.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello? Is mine working?
No, it has to. Share. Everybody good? Okay. All right. Review and amend the accepted minutes for the 16th of April. Lynn has some revisions.
I just have where it says to accept the March minutes, it was March 19th, and I trust that I said the 16th. And then just that.
Lynn, can you go into the microphone? Because my phone is.
I just moved it. The meeting date was March 19th. And then motions that were made, Peggy made the motion to have John chair the effort to compile a comprehensive description of the property for Plainfield. I seconded, and you just need to add motion passed. And then on this next one, the school board recommendations on the agenda was tabled until the next meeting. Joe tabled it, and Mike seconded it, and it passed. And then the motion to adjourn by Mike, seconded by Joe, and passed. That's what I had.
Is there anything else, Lynn?
Yeah, for no.
I'm with you on that one. She just wants you to take, can she send it to you?
Yeah.
Take a picture? You want to take a picture of that? That way, okay. All right, how's about that? Okay?
Yeah.
All right, that way we're on the same page. All right, moving on to citizen participation. Anybody like to speak? Okay. All right, so our two invited guests are unable to make it. Mr. Birdie has some personal things going on and is not able to make it. I did request that he send me at least a 10-point note. I got the 10-point thing, and then I called today and got Mr. Henry Dexter and went over the stuff with him. I did ask him to have if he had anybody else in the highway department to attend tonight, and he says he wasn't able to, but he would look for someone. So I will go on Monday, start asking him again who that would be for the next meeting, and try and get him in here. So everybody has in front of them a copy of what Ron sent me. All right, again, Ron and Henry went over this list together, and and then I spoke to Henry on the specifics of it. So the first one is fix our hydraulic truck lift. Henry's notes are that the hydraulic lift is over 30 years old. It's inspected yearly, and there are a number of things wrong with it. Naomi?
Yeah, can I chime in here first?
Yeah, please do. That's why that's
So, the Board of Finance had we have voted for, I'm assuming it's the same lift the money to be taken off of it. Now it has been put out that there are safety issues involving this stuff. The Board of Finance, myself, last night requested the OSHA reports on this list. I'm not sure why the gentlemen at the highway department are putting fix it, because from my understanding, Mr. Cunningham is saying this needs to be replaced, not fixed. The issue I have is he has 10 here, but I went to the state of Connecticut OSHA website today. It's a public record. I'm going to FOIA them for the full reports on everything. But as you can see from their website currently right now, and any of you are welcome to go and look at it, it's 30 pages to print out. There are 53 OSHA violations for the town of Plainfield, 20 of them at the highway department, that have been going on for the last year. So I'm not sure what the status of this list is. We're looking for more documentation. This board should be requesting more documentation. My issue right now is I think that there's a failure of communication. The Board of Finance had invited the highway supervisor to come to speak about his budget. He didn't come. I don't know what's going on with the gentleman. Apparently, he's not able to come for whatever his reasons are. But if there are safety issues, absolutely they need to be addressed. But the boards also need to be apprised of the severity of the safety issues and what they are. We can't just dole out money if we don't know what's going on. And this board, from my understanding, is supposed to be checking on stuff for infrastructure, and we're not getting, this is not a full report, this is a list of the needs, but we don't know what, are they safety issues, what's going on with them. So it would have been nice to have, I don't know how to say his name, Mr. Burby here tonight, or at least have Mr. Cunningham here tonight so we could have discussed this more in depth. But from my understanding from the Connecticut OSHA website, there are not one safety issue. There's 20 sitting at the Plainfield Highway Department. And we've got quite a few fines. There are also 17 citations for the Plainfield Town Hall, 5 including swimming pool. And there were 11 citations from what I could see on their website for the senior rec building. So we got some problems here in Plainfield with safety issues. Not just with a lift, and not just with a ramp, and not just with an elevator. We also had safety issues over at Warrington Park. So yeah, our committee really should be effectively being worked with by all departments, and we should be a top priority for the selectmen. That's my attitude right now, especially with what's going on. And the taxpayer should be apprised that there are these kinds of safety issues. And
I certainly agree with you there, and thank you for bringing that up. With the, were those just numbers of violations, or were they actually OSHA recordable incidents or injuries that had occurred?
So here's the problem, Mr. Brogan. On the website, you can see where there are violations, and they list the severity serious. They also list whether they're active, whether they've been completed. So a couple for WPCA are closed and have been completed, they were taken care of. There are quite a few still open, but I just started looking over this tonight, so I don't have a full report for the board. But I did want to bring it to your attention. And the other thing is that for the full reports, I have to send a Freedom of Information Act, which I am planning on following up with tomorrow to OSHA so that we can have the full reports. I did, again, as Board of Finance member last night, request them from Mr. Cunningham, but I also, as a private citizen, would like a FOIA, and that way I would be more than happy to share that with this board when I get it.
No, I certainly appreciate that.
If you take a look, you can see how they list them, but they discuss when they opened, when they were follow-up inspections. So there's some information, just not the full reports. And they don't tell you exactly, they have codes, Mike, for what they are, so I didn't have time to go through all the codes. So, but if you check them, they haven't counted, they're individuals, so that's where I got my numbers, the counts from.
Naomi, I just want to clarify a couple of things for the minutes.
Sure.
You said you were going to FOIA. Now,
I'm going to send a Freedom of Information request to Connecticut OSHA.
Connecticut OSHA,
Yes.
okay. And what I wrote down is 53 OSHA violations, 20 for the highway department, 17 town hall, 11 rec, but you said the number 5 in there.
5 for the swimming pool alone.
For what?
The swimming pool and the town hall, 5.
Is that included in the 17, does that include the 5?
No.
Okay, so they're separate.
No, they're listed separately.
Was there one for WPCA?
There were a couple for WPCA, but I don't really want to speak a lot on that because I feel like 2 or 3, but a couple were closed out. So I would like to look at that a little further. Like I said, I was kind of crunched for time. So I don't want to give out inaccurate
So,
information.
I think this brings up one of the things that I've been thinking about and been reviewing as well is, one of the items that seems to be missing is a regular, updated document with revision control for each one of the properties, and we don't have that. And so, what happens is that you end up having a situation where you have assessments, and we have a lot of really good assessments done very recently. But already, for example, the town hall assessment was done in 2024 and it's out of date because we've already started fixing stuff and the front's been done. So I would like that this board to propose a discussion, a plan of attack or project to institute that kind of documentation control and evaluation because for example, we heard that there was an evaluation on the highway department, and Ron and Henry went over these things. The list here is pretty general, but obviously they know what to inspect and know what to do. So I think we just need to have a regular, that way, that's one thing this program can do.
There just seems to be, and this is again, in my opinion, a very severe breakdown of communication between the selectmen, the department heads, and this committee right now.
Well, can we just, I think one of the communication tools we could use is an updated revision control doc
Yeah, we have to have something.
that they are required to do, let's say yearly, and they provide it, and everybody's happy. Well, think about it. Revised document. In other words, you have a building, for example, for the highway department, and all the different divisions of it, and it has entries in for OSHA requirements, safety, all the different aspects of that building. And it's like a starting point for an assessment, and every year there's an evaluation by these people, and they say, okay, this is the stuff we need to get sent off to the town hall, and it's under revision control, so it's something that's going to be present for everybody. And right now, it's kind of ad hoc, so you have an assessment that's done.
Exactly, because I can tell you it's very frustrating, like now serving on the Board of Finance and sitting through the budget season. It's very disheartening when you're looking at the capital plan and you don't have estimates, you don't have any kind of reports. You know, there's items or projects, but it's like, well, hey, how old is this? What condition is it in? And it's just feedback. And if the department heads choose to come and share information, and we have that. If they don't show up,
Right.
we don't have it.
And in this case, they did provide the list. But this could have been that document that I'm talking about, and it would have been much more detailed. And we could have said, oh yeah, well, we have to spend.
And I would like to have professional write-ups. I mean, one person working at the highway department says fix the lift, the selectman says we need to replace the lift.
Right.
Right? I mean, we have varying, so we need we need estimates, quotes, we need safety inspections, and people are certified, who know what they're doing to report and give us proper pricing. So we're getting the best bang for our dollar too. You know, especially in the economy the way it is. I mean, everybody's got to tighten their belts, and we have to justify wants and needs. And if this committee, hopefully we're going to be going forward working with the Board of Finance, Board of Ed, I'm sure the Board of Education will also want reports and or would like them too to be able to justify some of the money they're putting in their budget. So
can we make it a requirement that the department has provided such a document?
It has to be followed, we can't require anything.
Well, we can
without
make
the
it,
following
we can recommend.
of the personal request.
We can request.
but maybe the report, like you're talking about, if we had someone once a year or some kind of a report once a year on these things, that could be provided, and they, whoever's doing it for us will work with the department head. I don't know.
But there's got to be some kind of for each department on what these lists mean, when were they inspected, what was the inspection. I do have Mr. Dexter, he is going to get me that stuff, but I didn't know that Mr. Birdie wasn't going to be able to be here till yesterday. So Mr. Dexter is 30 coming in at the highway department. Is that Henry? Yes. Yeah, so I did not know. Ms. Bird called me yesterday and let me know. So that I asked him I needed at the minimum, like we requested of everybody, the top 10 things that, you know, what do you need? And then I would ask him if he could get, you know, some kind of response to it. And I got this 10-page list, so then I called Mr. Berge back, and I got Mr. Dexter, and he went over each one of these things in a general of what he knows, because he helped Mr. Berge put this together. But it, like everything else, you can't require that, but we do need them to do it, because this committee was put together by the selectmen. The first selectman is the person that created it. And
Well, for example, one of the things that we can point to is right now we have a recent assessment for town hall. And they've gone through it in pretty exhaustive detail, and some of the items, in fact, one of the major items has already been fixed. So it would be an appropriate thing to start capturing those fixes, so to speak, and those evaluations each year, so that we know, for example, an assessment done in the previous year, that work has now been completed, and you've got a record. Because right now we have, we've got a lot of recent assessments, and as the years go by, they're going to become more and more out of date. But as we fix things, we need to be able to track that more accurately. So what could we do to recommend that? How would
same as we did last time, put up a record.
I think,
do we want to do a motion, or do we want to
so I
write
think
something
for
up?
me, here's the issue I have, John. We've had several meetings, we've been up and operational for 4 months. It appears like every effort we're making, we're getting stone walls stopped, people aren't attending, people aren't showing up, there's gaps of communication, we're not, something is amiss here. Very big in my opinion.
But yes, I see.
So I would like to start creating more organization and paper trails. So we cannot effectively, how do we deal with the highway department issues if no one's going to discuss the highway department issues with us? I'm a volunteer, I don't work at the highway department, I don't have the expertise on some of that, so that's an issue. I think for me, okay, we have a rough draft of an RFP present with us tonight. I'm understanding from Mr. Cunningham's list that he sent, he's saying there's a rough draft. Can we add notes to this? So is this, to me, it's like, instead of adding one more order to our evening, should we just hone in on, let's really define this RFP, get it back to him and get that out, so we at least are getting something accomplished, because this RFP is floating around.
I would actually agree with that. I think the RFP process, from being as the Board of Ed had gone through that extensive previously, it will unearth a lot of the issues that even the highway department is talking about. Like, we know there's also roof leaks up there. I'd like to know the age of the roof. What is the condition of the roof? And you don't just see that in these 10 points, but the RFP will give that. So I think first, before we kind of go through, we need to get the RFP out there. We need to get that process. And it may take a while. It took us a while as the Board of Ed in order to get that information. The better part of, 4 to 6 months before we had that extensive binder that we presented.
I think that's the interesting thing, is someone who, I've attended many, many meetings over the years in this town, and I've seen efforts and work that go into things, and considering this committee is so new in its conception, to have an expectation that I think some people are putting on us, I just think it's unfair. We have other ad hocs that have been up and operational for over, some haven't even met in almost a year, and nothing is said about that. So I think we have a right to say, hey, we need some time to really refine this RFP. We need to, in my opinion, work on that and get it out so we can get proper feedback here. That's just my opinion.
You guys do need a lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They need something to work.
I don't disagree they need a lift, Joe.
Yeah.
The problem is, how much is the lift? Do we do a fix? Do we do a replacement? Right? We have no reports.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that this list is in, their number one is we need this. And I know some of the guys that work up there. The highway department is no different than any department. They need the tools to make the job happen. The lift is very important, and then I have heard, like, in the wintertime when they're fixing plow trucks and stuff, the ventilation in the back, in that building in the back, from what I understand, is pretty bad. And, I don't know if you ever had your car or not, I've avoided it before, but it kinda sucks.
So that's one of the things that, Mr. Dexter reads on. It says ventilation for our area, phase 4 and 5. In the winter, they fill up the carbon monoxide because there's no ventilation in there at all. When the trucks are running,
Yeah,
you can get gas. And then where it says fix the sewer in the bathroom, I guess they've had, their sewer lines are hooked up. They got the sewer line clogging up and the grinder and the pump inside, and it backs up, back like a backflow. All right, and then on the roof, the roof's peeled up. Okay, there's a tin roof, which is what you alluded to. There's a tin roof up there, and the last windstorm peeled it up. So that's that. And he said, they could use a bigger salt shed because they can only get 150 tons at a time. I know we contract for salt,
yeah.
but when there's a severe storm and severe weather like last year, everybody was running out of salt, and we couldn't hold it enough to keep up. We didn't have the capacity to hold up with it. And then obviously the parking lot is not whole city in his words. And they just keep coming back. He says the service garage doors and the fire doors some of them need to be replaced, and some of them need to be fixed. And then the electrical panel, he says he has 5 electrical panels in 5 different sections. And when the electric goes out, you've got to search 5 panels in 5 different ways to figure out what went where to who.
Right, but what we're saying, so hear me out. So what I'm saying is, if we have the RFP, and like Christie said, we get this out, we get the company, then they're gonna go through all of this with the department heads with these lists. So then we have a comprehensive report that we can present, right? And then the Board of Finance will also be able to work with the budget to start getting these things.
Yes, no, I mean, I agree what you're saying. I've got, their list is not really,
It was done in one day.
well, no, it's not really astronomical.
No, it's not.
It's actually very reasonable.
I would also encourage any department, just as a citizen too, that if there's an emergent need and something that absolutely,
Yes.
then they need to go to the Board of Finance.
Yes.
The Board of Ed has been told multiple times that something rates that's outside of our capital budget to come to the Board of Finance and to ask for the money to come out. So I would encourage any department to do that, knowing that this RFP process is going to take a long time. But what we are doing is building a comprehensive plan and a good snapshot of that RFP to move forward and to be better in the future.
So some of the stuff on here, I mean, I imagine they could do in-house. Like the painting and stuff, I'm sure there's some time that they could do that themselves. Maybe not, maybe I'm wrong. But servicing the garage doors and stuff, and the fire doors, that's a phone call away. I mean, that's relatively important to have working. And like I said,
Right now,
I know a little bit about what they got here. I know the lift is a big thing, and it is something they definitely need. I heard some pretty astronomical numbers in the budget for the lift. I'm not sure what lift they were getting, but they do deserve and need a lift, and the ventilation is kind of a big thing.
I think any safety issue is a big issue.
So,
I think it's what.
but I understand you guys are calling, not
Right.
disagreeing with you.
You know, if I'm going to the
There's-
person saying, well, this is what they want, and Capitol Street is like a wish list, and then I say, well, you know, the taxpayers, they're struggling, okay, so let's take this off. And then all of a sudden it's presented, well, that's a safety issue. Why weren't we told that from the beginning?
Yeah, I get it.
Especially if you got cited on this back in 2025, December of 2025, what OSHA's saying, the reports are going back to. Mr. Cunningham sat right in one of our Board of Finance meetings and said OSHA had been here, we had been violated, we asked how serious was the problem being taken care of. Now here we are with a serious issue of lift. I'm not debating, I just want to see the reports, and if we've got an emergency, get the money to them, I'm more than happy to do that.
Can you guys use the mic down there?
But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, going forward, we need to be able to also have reports.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. And the OSHA violations, you know, OSHA can suck. You know,
Still gotta pay the fine. so-
yeah, no, I get it,
Excuse
but
me,
some
Madam
stuff-
Secretary,
Yes.
I need people to use the microphones down there if you would help me.
Dave?
Can you hear me, Linda?
I can now.
Okay.
Oh, mine's on
Hold on, let me
now.
get it right in front of me.
Oh, she's still can't hear. I can hear them, that's why I didn't know whether you could hear them.
Yeah,
And
let us
Mike,
know.
maybe for your mother's birthday, get her hearing aid.
Oh. Okay. let's
But
go back
anyways,
to
the, sometimes those OSHA violations sound bad, but they're a minimal thing.
So, let's get back to the highway garage, stay on this topic on what we're on each thing. Obviously, there's a 10-point list we all have, obviously, I've read, Linda, do you want to take me through this?
Yeah, your notes in red?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So, we talked about it, again, they're going to try and get the documentation. You want me to ask Mr. Murphy to come to a meeting again, or what do you want?
No, I think he gave the list. I think we need to work on the RFP
Yeah.
so that we
Yeah, that's the agenda.
right, so we're getting the reports and getting this checked. The list is gonna be addressed between the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance, I'm sure probably before we even meet again. I'm assuming, I'm hopeful. But the rest of the list and stuff, yeah,
Okay, so we don't need to come back. All right,
that's just, yeah, that's whatever the board wants to do.
so you guys.
RFP.
Yeah, I agree. RFP.
Gotta get it added to the agenda.
Yeah, because if he's,
I thought it was on there.
Look at the agenda, it's gotta be added to it. Okay, so right now we just talked about the, safety issues at the town hall. Does anybody else have anything else to add? Okay, move on to the next agenda item. Invited guest, Mr. Cunningham, he couldn't make it, he sent me an email 1 hour ago and said that he wouldn't be able to make it either. So on the agenda, it says discuss town needs for the future. Oh, it does say discuss the RFP, excuse me, I'm sorry, John.
So Peggy, at this point, can we either read Mr. Cunningham's email and make a motion to add correspondence onto the agenda, whatever the board's comfortable with? Because I think this is where my attention is focused with what Mr. Cunningham is saying in his email as far as the RFP is concerned.
Are we allowed to ask our other selectmen who's here tonight?
You're certainly welcome to ask. The problem is he doesn't communicate anything to me. So unfortunately, I have no updates for you. My only curiosity really was the RFP. Does it include the ECC in it like it was supposed to? Because if it does not, we have a problem.
Okay,
So hold on, so the RFP that he just handed us does not have it. The RFP I got from Shannon, I called Shannon yesterday because I still hadn't received an updated RFP with the ECC on it. And the one I got from Shannon has the ECC on it. The one that he handed us, because he couldn't make it today, does not have it on it.
Right, and I say it's a problem because the Board of Selectmen acted on that in official public meeting. We acted on it and specifically said that it was to be included. And you guys also acted on it, even though yours is just a recommendation.
Right.
Still, it's in the minutes, it's in the town records. If you acted on your first meeting, and then it was acted on the Board of Selectmen meeting, so it's not an option. It has to be in there. So if it's not, then that's something that's going to be brought up at
So
Tuesday.
again, I have 3 RFPs. I have the original,
Yeah.
which we wanted to have provided. Then I got one from Shannon from yesterday, because I went right to Shannon for it, because I hadn't heard from Mr. Cunningham. So the one I got from Shannon has the ECC on it. That's the second copy that I sent out to all my board members. The one that Mr. Cunningham left here, I don't see it. Does anybody else see it in there? It says facilities on page 8 that says facilities included in the plan. Our police department, the highway garage, the animal control, the bus garage office, the senior center, recreation center, and the sewer center. So which RFP, this is my problem. Which RFP are we talking about?
So here's,
Yeah, it's under.
this is, so Tom, I just want to make sure that I'm correct, okay? So Shannon sent us an updated RFP that has the ECC in it. That's the one we should be defining, working on
What did
making
Shannon-
sure, corresponding back and forth with Kevin, because he asks us, I would, if it's okay, I'm just gonna read his email.
Please do.
Could you read it into the mic so?
Sure. It says, "Hello, Chairwoman Bory. First, I have given thought to the request of the town needs for the future as listed in the email from the chair. I've attached the top 10 list as requested. Secondly, at the last Board of Selectmen meeting on May 11th, Tom asked for more specific recommendations that would need to be added to the RFP, to which you said you would email that information to Kevin. To today's date, I have not received any information from you as to what specific items that the CSPC would like to add to the RFP. Well, I'd like to pause there for a minute, because how would Peggy do that when the board hadn't met yet? We're just meeting tonight to do that. So that's, I don't understand that, but that's okay. I have, however, supplied the most current version of the RFP for the board to review and asked that the board add notes to the RFP, and we can turn that around ASAP and send the updated version to the chair for review. Finally, there is discussion of mapping of pictures and descriptions, to which I thought John Von Olson was working on. I have no input for a reply unless I can get an update from Mr. Von Olson. Kevin Cunningham.
Why would I be doing that? That's something that comes from the committee.
I agree.
I agree, yeah.
So that's inappropriate. So I'd be happy to talk about it. That's not going to be an official thing. Talk to me.
So my confusion is, what RFP are we looking at? Am I looking at the one he gave us tonight because he couldn't attend? Am I looking at the one that I gave that Shannon emailed to me and I emailed to the rest of you?
What I think more to my point, Peggy, going back to Tom, what I would like clarified is, if the Board of Selectmen voted for the ECC to be added into the RFP, and we now have the updated one for Shannon, that's the one we're working with, if anyone changes that RFP and it's not added in there, that needs to be brought in front of ethics. That's my opinion on that. That's basically then someone's interfering with the vote of not only the Board of Selectmen, but this board. So is that what you're saying, Mr. Singlewitz?
No, what I'm saying is I need clarification on it. So, I mean, you guys clarified to me that you got two different ones in front of you and you're trying to figure out which one to go with. So I plan on bringing it up at Tuesday's Board of Selectmen meeting because I want clarification of it. As a member of the Board of Selectmen who voted on it to add the ECC to it, I want to know which one you guys are going with. And hopefully it's the one that includes the ECC.
I had Shannon added, because that was done with a vote here, and it was done a vote at your meeting.
Why do we need ECC voting added? We already have one in 2023.
Because I thought we were adding that for an update for usage of the building, because how it will be utilized for school with the dates and the list of updates are very different than how it may be used for other things.
Right.
But it's my
So,
understanding that
update.
we can't,
You can't do that unless you have a detailed list and plan and operational something for people to look at for that other use.
So are we gonna re-vote the ECC?
How
Because
do
we
do
already
that?
voted on it.
Yeah, we already voted on it our first meeting, and the first selectmen have already voted,
So we can include, I mean, I have no objection to include it, it's just that I think we could save some money because we already have an evaluation. But we certainly could include it, I would expect you're gonna get a similar result.
As
we have
Ms.
with
Smith,
ours.
as Ms. Smith already pointed out, we did take a vote on it after plenty of discussion on why we wanted to specifically include it in the RFP, and that's exactly the reason why, is that as, when it was done as part of the feasibility study, it's the feasibility of it as a school. We're looking at it now to assess its usage for any other reason as a town building. And that was already decided by this commission
that was
at
the
the first
meeting
meeting.
in January. And then the Board of Selectmen took it up, and they voted it as well.
So I'm just saying, shouldn't we be working with the most updated RFP from Shannon and sending that back for, that's my,
yeah, that makes the most sense to me also.
So would you like to make a motion of which RFP we'd like to work with?
So you're saying is Shannon sent documentation to the selectmen and then the
No,
selectmen
Shannon
changed
sent
it?
it to me, because I hadn't gotten any
Oh, so
documentation.
she didn't send that one with the ECC to the selectmen, then he changed it and then sent it out, or?
I have no idea what happened with the first selectman, he doesn't communicate very many, but I just know I needed to talk, we needed to decide what we're doing the RFP, we did decide that. He was the chairman of the meeting in January, when we decided to add the ECC.
So what do you need a motion for?
Which RFP?
I'll make a motion that we use Shannon's RFP and push that one forward.
All right, thank you, everybody. And then
We need a vote.
yep, everybody.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and Shannon, just let me say that everything is
John did,
included.
Mark. John.
Were there,
What did you say?
She read my lips, I said second, I didn't hear the second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you, Naomi.
All right. On to discuss the counties for the future. Mr. Cunningham has list. I'll read it out loud and then we can discuss 1 through 10. The Board of Ed, HVAC upgrades. These HVAC upgrades should go out as entire all buildings upgrades via a bond with approximately cost of $4.7 million estimated cost, while we have money in our fund balance to offset the bond cost. Number 2, land acquisition. He says this item should be discussed in executive session. Number 3, land acquisition. Number 2, that's the second. This item should be discussed in executive session.
Excuse me, what does that mean?
I don't understand what this means either, so without him here,
I'm going to make a motion that we table this until Mr. Cunningham can appear.
second?
Thank you. Second. All right.
you take the vote, Peggy.
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Are we tabling his whole thing or just?
Yes.
Okay, discussing the mapping, okay. I'd like to add to it, discuss, John Van Olsen's town property. He has some reports to report.
Well, this is what Kevin wanted to see at the meeting. That's what I heard.
We have to, yeah, so this is it. So I'd like to add that as number 8. Can I have a motion?
I'm gonna make a motion.
Wait a minute.
What was the motion on?
The motion is that we add number 8 to discuss Mr. Von Olson's findings on the town property.
So we were given these 2 documents, the documents, these documents.
Right, what is number 8?
So we're adding 8 to the
Adding
agenda.
number 7, I'm sorry, it's 7.
We're adding 7.
I would actually make a motion that we, and I appreciate your very hard work, but I would make a motion that we table this until Mr. Cunningham can appear. Just because I have concerns now off of his town of Plainfield future needs where he put land acquisition 1, this item should be discussed in executive session. I don't know if I even want to start discussing a list until Mr. Cunningham is here.
That's fine with me. Aye.
It's a delay again, and it stinks that we have to keep delaying, but we know our main goal is to get this RFP out. That will help us. It will take time, but that's when we get this information back, that's when our work really will truly begin.
So, Christy, I guess my question is, do we feel that it might be pertinent at this point? I know there was recommendation at our first meeting that we may even want to, from this committee, have like a subcommittee where a couple members work on specific things. So would it be a good idea for maybe a couple members to break off into a subcommittee just to define, refine, go over, and then bring a completed RFP with what all the needs are?
I can just, I would say that our next meeting should be with our selectmen. And I say selectmen, I would ask for all 3 to be there.
Perfect, I'm good with that too.
I would send an invitation to all 3 of them because we've invited Mr. Cunningham, this will be the 3rd time. Last time we filled out.
And if we're inviting them, I would also like a request and an email to be sent to all 3 selectmen with the request to also state that we would like them to come with an absolute clarification of the ECC being what they moved on to have in Shannon's. We want Shannon's RFP. We voted on it. We would like them to understand that and discuss that at one of their meetings before they come back to us. We can't keep doing this. This communication is a failed system. We can't move on anything. So you have 11 volunteers that are literally wasting their time. That's unacceptable.
And we don't get paid for this.
No, we don't get paid and volunteers in this town is not wonderful.
No.
No.
It is not a good job. And you can see by the treatment that you get when you try and volunteer, when it's not your job, and you're trying to do this, because volunteering for the towns are a very important thing that we do for committees, and we come every night, we come all the time, and we try and do our best, and to be kept being messed around with, and not getting the help that we needed, even minutely, is very disheartening.
Madam Chair, I believe we have a motion on the floor. I'd like to second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is that we table until we can get Mr. Cunningham here.
Copy that.
And the other two selectmen.
Now, it's all three selectmen. All three selectmen at our
At least invited.
I will definitely get you, I will invite you all formally in an email, because I've been keeping track of the emails, how many times I've had conversations with Mr. Cunningham. And from now on, it will always be in an email. Call the roll. I did it alone. All in favor? I did tell you. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And Linda, too, all of them were unanimous, all of them.
Yes.
Because there was, in that article, so all of them were unanimous. Yes, sir. We're waiting on here. I'm in trouble.
I'm actually, you know, it's funny, but it's not. I don't know if all of the members are aware of the joke, but what occurred at one of the Board of Selectmen meetings recently with our chair and our secretary involving our minutes was quite concerning and disturbing to sit in the audience and watch. Since then, our chair and our secretary have been given the FOIA statutes on what the minutes of meetings require, so I don't think we'll have any more issues going forward. It has been addressed. However, we as a committee had not even had an opportunity to amend our minutes before our chair was chastised for the minutes not being done to a certain standard, and I felt that that was very disturbing. So, but we have rectified it, and hopefully going forward, it shouldn't be an issue again.
May I make a recommendation? All of the Board of Ed meetings are recorded with a recorder. We have town hall for that.
We have double and a backup.
Like I said, we've addressed it, Christie. We shouldn't have any more problems.
We have one and a backup.
Then I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank